Sanae Takaichi has become Japan's first female prime minister. Japan's parliament has voted in the ultra-conservative hardliner after her party signed a last-minute coalition deal with another right-wing party. Takaichi replaces Shigeru Ishiba, who resigned after his coalition lost parliamentary elections in July. Now, it's seen as a shift to the right in a country worried about rising prices, a sluggish economy and immigration. Let's go to Stephen Nagi. He's a visiting fellow at the Japan Institute of International Affairs, joining us live now from Tokyo. Thank you for your time and speaking to Al Jazeera. Now, Takaichi is being nicknamed Japan's Iron Lady. What's your takeaway on her policies and vision for Japan moving forward?
Thank you for having me. She is a pragmatic prime minister. She worked her way up through the ageist and male-dominated Liberal Democratic Party to break the glass ceiling, which suggests that she's flexible, she has communication skills, she's very competent, and has the ability to build coalitions within the Liberal Democratic Party to be a pragmatic governor. Her views on domestic policy are, I would not echo your view about ultra-hardcore conservative. Her views are about getting the economy going, about deregulation, about finding ways to deal with inflation, to deal with illegal migrants, and to find ways to have a strong ethno-cultural Japanese state that focuses on a Japanese cultural and ethnic identity rather than a multicultural identity. At the international front, should continue to have a strong and invest in U.S.-Japan relations while engaged with China, but also build resilience and deterrence to deal with the challenges of authoritarianism in this region.
Right, and when you look back at the political situation in Japan, there has been a political vacuum now for 3 months. Where does Sanae Takaichi go from here? What's next for her and the challenges ahead for her as Prime Minister now?
So domestically, she has to make the alliance partnership work with the Japan Innovation Party. It's not a formal coalition. It's rather an agreement to work together and for the coalition partner to vote alongside LDP lines. So she's going to have to work hard to get some immediate economic gains for ordinary Japanese. These may include deregulation of the economy. They may include a tax break on gas. They may include more policies for dealing with inflation. Her coalition partner focuses on decentralizing the Japanese economy, so ensuring that the entire Japan is economically dynamic, not just Tokyo and Osaka. So these are things that I think she's going to work on with the coalition partner, and I think that incrementally she should be able to find some success. On the international front, she will be meeting President Trump in Japan. He's visiting on the 29th, I believe. And then she'll go to APEC in South Korea, where she'll visit and meet President Trump, of course, the president of Korea, President Lee, and she'll meet President Xi Jinping for the first time. So it's a trial by fire in terms of meeting international leaders, but I think she's well positioned in terms of her training, her strong pragmatic streak, and I think her views generally align with the U.S. administration. And there's a lot more continuity in terms of her policy rather than dramatic change compared with the late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe.
Right. And of course, one thing that has been picked up by many is the fact that she's Japan's first ever female Prime Minister. Now, does that break the glass ceiling of a political landscape in Japan that's been dominated by men? And I say that because there still is concern over what people are seeing as conservative views when it comes to gender equality and so on.
So two things here. She's appointed a woman for the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Economic Security. These are powerful ministries, especially the Ministry of Finance, which suggests that she wants to have a female leadership and change how Japan is governed to be more gender equal. On LGBT issues and others, the coalition party, the Ishin party, is actually known to be quite pro-LGBT. The thinking that you have to activate all your citizens, regardless of their gender or sexuality. And in that sense, the claims that she's anti-LGBT don't bear out in terms of her pragmatic governance. I would add that her coalition party wants to continue to have free health care, free dental care, increased support for families. I think these are anything but fiscally conservative policies. Rather, they speak to a government that is inclined to invest in people, invest in social welfare programs that would be much more familiar in Australia or Canada than I think the kind of radical cuts that we see in countries like the United States.
So it all sounds well and good, what you're saying in terms of, her policies moving forward, and there are there's a lot of frustration rather from the public, as we've said, high inflation, a weak yen, declining birth rates. How can she appease this frustrated public?
So if it was easy, it would have been done 30 or 40 years ago. And that's the reality. But I do think that there are concrete policies that she can engage in to improve some of the dynamics. Inflationary pressures, these are global, they're structural and related to the broader trend of decoupling or selectively diversifying away from the Chinese economy. This means that Japan has to invest at home in terms of AI and boosting productivity and empowering all members of society. That includes women, that includes people of sexual minorities. But I think it also means changing the idea of what work is, where you work, and how you work. This will be difficult, but I think it's possible. Lots of lessons were learned during the pandemic, and I think those lessons need to be applied today.
Right.
In terms of investing in Southeast Asia and India, these are no-brainers. Japan has great relations with both regions, and they'll continue to do that. And lastly, the U.S. has shown us it's the only country that continues to grow and be dynamic. Japan needs to work with the United States, but doing this from a coalition of strong partners such as India, the ASEAN countries, South Korea, Australia, and Canada.
All right, Stephen Nagy in Tokyo there. Thanks for your thoughts on the election of the first female prime minister in Japan.
Don't miss out to get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.